I want to think about the next hour and a half. It'll seem that long, but it won't be that long. But some of you heard me say this before. I say this a whole lot. Sitting in the back of the room, Emily Cunningham, who's sitting back there, the press secretary, sitting next to Bonnie Wu and Eric McBride. And where did Emily go? Emily's Spain. Emily, raise your hands on. Emily's from Washington now. She's our communications director. She doesn't come to Delaware every day, so it's a real treat to have her here. I have a couple folks that are interns here. And Sarah, we thank you, and then Casey, who are going to be heading back to other pursuits here in a little bit. But nobody earns a recognition like this on their own, and I understand that full well. And on behalf of everybody, Lynn Shaw, brand new member of our team, come back to join us, but a part of all of us, thank you very much for this recognition. Undeserved, but not unappreciated. That's the way I would describe it. I want to take just a few minutes, if I can, and talk about the importance of creating a nurturing environment for job creation and job preservation. In my business, I learned this a long time ago, but in my business, if you have companies that are successful, they are a good corporate citizen playing by the rules, if they are providing job opportunities for people coming out of high school, out of college, off of unemployment rolls, off of welfare rolls, if you've got that going for you in my business, the rest is pretty easy. And so we focus in Delaware, those of you who live here I think know what I mean, we really focus on trying to provide a nurturing environment for job creation, job preservation. One of the ways that we do that is to focus on workforce development, to try to make sure that the kind of young men and women, older men and women that are needed in our workforce, that they're available to come to work for employers large and small. And one of the segments of our economy that's been growing rapidly, and I might say about junior achievement. Junior achievement is very active, very important player as we prepare people for jobs for the 21st century. We used to like to say my grandfather earned his living by the sweat of his back, or the strength of his back. My children, our grandchildren, earn their living by the strength of their minds. And one of the things we sought to do in our state, when I was governor, we established rigorous academic standards in math, science, English, and social studies. We began measuring student progress toward those standards, and we still work in those vineyards and strengthen the standards, and as we try to make sure that more of our kids are able to meet those standards, especially the math and science standards. It's really important to start young, even before young people reach the age to be part of junior achievement. But we just opened up early this year, thanks to some of you in this room, we just opened up a children's science museum on the Christina River. Has anybody been down there? Anybody been down there? It is. So far, 60,000 people, mostly kids of all ages, including our ages, but kids of all ages have been there to see the museum. And it has a math science bent to it. Some of you have been very good to help support that, and I thank you for that. But 60,000 young people. The target age for the museum is ages 1 through 12, but there are kids older than that, and you also get just as much a thrill out of that. The idea there is to capture children's imagination in ways that we hadn't done that previously. It's great that we have a lot of a huge legal services business in Delaware. It's a significant part of our economy. Half the Fortune 500, half the New York Stock Exchange are incorporated in Delaware. When there's bankruptcy involving any of those corporations, a lot of it ends up here. Huge legal services work. We're a major center for financial services. We have a large tourism industry from one end of the state to the other. All those things are important. But it's also important that we be able to make things that are made in America, stamped made in America, that we sell here and sell all over the world. And part of that can be some of those products flow out of our biotechnology industry. I just want to talk about that just a little bit today. When I was privileged to be your governor, we had John Riley and David Weir came to see me, and they said, there's this idea. Bob Coy, who was our head of economic development, some of you remember Bob, said we have this idea to create a biotechnology institute, DBI, and we need it could be a partnership between business, academia, and the state of Delaware. Everybody needed to put up so much money. I think it was $5 million a piece, and we did. And out of that has come hundreds of jobs and dozens of new companies that are spinning off and creating more jobs as we go forward in the future. Among the things that they work on on how to create vaccines in a hurry. Vaccines for whether it's for avian influenza, whether it's for some kind of plague that some terrorist group wants to sort of foist on the rest of us. One of the technologies that they worked on and perfected is how to create vaccines out of tobacco plants. Imagine that, something good coming out of tobacco plants. And instead of using eggs, taking a long time, maybe not so successfully, be able to do that using tobacco plants and other kinds of plant technology. That's a wonderful thing. In addition to that, we have done great work in this state. DuPont is one of the major players in this, but there are others. To figure out how do we feed ourselves and how do we fuel ourselves at the same time. Is it possible to do that? If you go back, 70, 80 years ago in the Delaware Peninsula, we raised corn and we raised soybeans as well. We're lucky to get 30, 40, 50 bushels of corn off of an acre of land. Today it's not uncommon to get 300 bushels of corn off of an acre of land. And we can use the corn plant that remains, the husks from the corn, we can use that to create an energy. We use it to create biobutanol, and we use it to create cellulosic ethanol. The beauty of biobutanol, which is a joint product with DuPont and BP, the product is unlike straight oil ethanol, which doesn't travel in pipelines, which doesn't have very good fuel density, which doesn't mix very well with gasoline. Biobutanol passes all those, travels in pipelines, greater energy density, and it also mixes better with gasoline. Among the other things that we're working on here in this arena, we have AstraZeneca do a lot of work up the road here in small molecule pharmaceuticals, but over in Maryland, a place called Metamune. Over in Maryland, they're doing great work in large molecule medicines that help, not just help us to get well, but help us to stay well, to extend our lives, but not just to extend our lives, but to extend the quality, improve the quality of our lives, and provide enormous job opportunities at the same time. And do great work like support the Truman Science Museum. So that's like a win-win-win situation.